In this episode, we discuss NPCs, also known as non playable characters. We talk about this supernatural phenomenon, look at its origins, and discuss how can you tell if someone is an NPC or not.
Let's talk about what intuition really is.
Let's look at all the places intuition and ego show up in your life.
Let's share honestly.
Let's do the research.
I'm Jamie Hayhurst.
I'm Heather Wood.
This is the Intuitive Girl's Guide.
This episode will play uninterrupted after a brief message from our sponsors.
You know what goes great with podcast listening?
A great cup of coffee from a great coffee shop. Restoration Coffee. Can we go?
Yeah, check them out and visit restoration-coffee.com. Hey Jay.
Hey.
I like your pink sweater.
Oh, back again.
We're going to talk about a really interesting topic today.
I mean, if you're listening to the IGG for like the more like brain centered neurodiversity, capitalism, anti-capitalism, political stuff.
Yeah. You're like,
maybe
what's this
skip this one.
Actually, I think that's going to come up a lot.
It will, but I think it's going to be real trippy for a lot of people. Lately, we haven't been going down the the trippy road.
But it's also like almost Christmas, Jamie, and people need a like trippy brain vacation.
Okay.
Well, it's not going to be a brain vacation. Spoiler alert. I'm going to
make
it
you
about
think.
Capitalism and racism and all kinds of things are going to come up.
Everything is about racism.
Okay.
I mean, spoiler alert, if you're new here, every single fucking thing that happens in this country is because of white supremacy.
Right. So as much as maybe you saw the title of this being NPCs and you were like, oh, this is going to be a trippy, cool thing about, non-humanoids and stuff. Yes. But really, do you think that's how we're going to talk about it?
No, that's what I mean. Like, you can't. Okay. Not apologizing, though.
This was a listener request.
Mm-hmm.
So, I love a listener request. Mm-hmm. And this is something that both of us didn't really know a lot about before we started.
Not in this, phrasing.
Correct.
No, never. I had not.
Okay. But we're old, and that can happen.
It does happen.
But we catch up.
We do.
Okay.
Yep.
So, NPC stands for non-playable character. Mm-hmm. So, what we're talking about today is not video games.
It's a video game term.
Yeah, this is a video game term. What we're talking about today is the kind of question that comes up in every generation, and it has a different term for it. This is just the youths calling it their own name.
Kids these days.
Yeah. Okay. So they're calling it NPC.
Yes.
But the idea that among us are people walking around or talking to you or in your life that maybe aren't a human. How would you know? How would you know, Jamie?
Maybe your intuition would let you know.
Because you look and you're
sensing.
Like, something's off.
Yep.
Okay. And so before you think that the whole rest of this episode is me and Jamie making fun of this idea, that's not going to happen.
No.
Because both of us have had experiences where we were like, that's not a person, or there's something going on with that person, that the energy is not human.
Something's off here.
Yeah. Okay. So we like trippy stuff. We don't spend a lot of time on trippy conspiracies, but I do think this is a real interesting concept because it comes up in every generation. And sometimes it's about aliens. Sometimes it's about demons. Sometimes it's about fae. Sometimes it's just called all different things, but it's just all the same phenomenon.
Right.
And it's a real phenomenon.
Right.
However, if you don't also look at what's going on behind everyone sort of like consciously being like, oh, what's going on with this? I'm seeing this. If you're not looking at that, you're not actually learning anything. You're not actually being intuitive and critically thinking. You're missing so much of the important stuff.
Right.
Because it's a great distraction.
I was going to say, you're falling for the bit. Right.
Point that stuff out and call people that.
Right. Yep.
But shocker, we're not just going to do that.
No.
When people are calling somebody now a non-playable character, let's just give a quick synopsis. Mm-hmm. Every person who's like a lot younger than us listening is going to roll their eyes at how I describe this. I'm going to do my best. Listen, we talked about playing the Carmen Sandiego
Oh yeah.
computer game.
Yes.
We've been in the
yeah.
playing on.
Decades.
We played games on computers that you had to dial tone to get into the internet.
Dial up access.
And like
Absolutely.
if a phone call came in or someone picked up the phone, you would get knocked off. Like, don't come at us like we don't know.
Right.
You don't know. You don't know.
No. 100%.
Okay. So we might not be playing the cool games of today.
I'm not playing Fortnite or whatever.
My kids are.
Call of Duty or whatever.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto. No.
So taking those video games, in those video games, there are characters that are non-playable characters, meaning they're just like in the game too.
There's like in the periphery of the game.
Yeah, and like you go up to them and maybe they have like a pre-scripted thing that they say to you, but like really their only purpose is to provide you with some sort of information or like further a storyline.
Right, but exactly. Yes.
But they're not really doing anything. There's no action and you can't become them.
No, and you can't play them. They don't play the game.
Yes, you can't be like this character, like the guy in the store who thought bubble comes up and tells you something. See, that's how old I am.
Have you seen the new Jumanji?
No.
The one with The Rock and Jack Black?
No, the last one I saw starred Kristen Dunst.
And Robin Williams?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, classic. But the new ones are really good and they're really funny. Kevin Hart's in them. Like, they're really funny.
Yeah.
And they have NPCs in them that's how they know because in the new one, Heather, they're not in a board game.
Oh.
They're in a video game.
They didn't open up an ancient board game?
Correct.
Okay, got it.
They got sucked into a video game.
Got it.
And so that's how they knew they were in the video game, was because they were trying to talk to someone. And he kept repeating the same line, like, welcome to the market or whatever.
Yes.
And he was like, oh, he's an NPC.
I'm picturing in my head playing Zelda as a little kid.
Yes.
And you would go up to the certain people and they would tell you something, but you kind of needed that information.
Right. To move you along in your story.
But sometimes you'd accidentally go up to them and then you have to go through all the thought bubbles. And you're like, I already know. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yes.
So that's how old.
I'm going to force my son to watch this episode. And I'm going to force him to listen to me talking about NPCs and video games, and he's just going to die.
You should save it as like a punishment. Like, if you don't do this, you have to listen to Heather and I describe NPCs. Yes.
Welcome to
other
hell.
Parents, if you want to use
Welcome
it,
to hell.
you have our blessing. Yeah. Okay, so it's the idea of taking that concept and saying, in your real life,
yes, I
think there are people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not like in your real life, though. Not like that there are people in your life like I almost just said something.
What's happening?
It's not like saying like, oh, your next door neighbor is an NPC, or like your brother-in-law is an NPC, or it's not like people in your life, like you're in the interior of your actual working life.
Right.
It's like in the periphery, you're walking down the street.
Yes.
That type of person.
But I fell down the TikTok hole of it.
Oh,
my algorithm's all messed
I did
up
not.
Again.
That's the price you pay for this podcast.
I hope everyone appreciates it.
I think
the crap that it comes into my FYP. People see. We're going to get into this a little bit more in a few minutes, but people seem to start like accusing people that they don't really like of this now. So you're not getting along with your brother-in-law.
Oh, so now
he's probably an NPC. He has no thoughts of his own. He's just doing this to teach me my lesson in life. And
see, then you're in like intuitive psychosis. You're in like weird internet psychosis.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that. Okay.
Okay, so this is where this becomes very problematic, because it's one thing to be like, that person I passed on the street didn't seem like they were fully here or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or this coworker that I rarely see or whatever. It's another when you're like, I don't like this person, or this something that I see commonly. This person doesn't seem like they're very intelligent.
I was going to say, so you think you're superior to them. Problem. Red flag.
Red flag.
Got it.
So
Got it.
This is happening.
Got it.
What's more common is what you're saying, like not in your inner circle, in, people around, but you do, at least in the TikTok universe, see people being like, I think my boss is, or I think my brother-in-law is, or I think my mother-in-law, like that, because they have some sort of beef or conflict with.
Jesus. Got it.
There's also a lot of more liberal people
Mm-hmm.
accusing more MAGA people of being NPCs. We'll get into that too.
I don't want to get into it.
Well, too bad. Here's the problem with this.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the cool trippy part in a second, but there is a problematic element that comes in when you just start using this as
You're dehumanizing people.
Exactly. You're dehumanizing them, and you're just going like, we don't see eye to eye, so I've decided you're not human. Or that you're not a main character. Like, that's dangerous.
Or I don't have the critical thinking skills or the communication skills to manage this interpersonal conflict.
Yeah.
So rather than doing any of that, which involves self-work, it's not just about the other person, right?
Exactly.
It's like, so rather than doing any of that work,
yeah,
I'll just say you're an NPC.
Exactly right. That's what's happening a lot.
That's the easy way out.
Yes. Okay. So let me tell you a bunch of different kinds of descriptions for NPCs.
Okay.
And some of them are current, and some of them are terms that have been used different times in history to describe sort of the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. Non-organic. I hear that term a lot now for NPCs.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what they're trying to say is that you're not of the earth.
Okay.
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 Jimmy hates that term. I can see it on her face in case you're not watching. Demon.
Yeah.
Most commonly used by religious people to state people that they think aren't following their way of life.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alien. Shell.
Yep.
Low vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Hologram.
Mm-hmm.
And basically just describing anyone who's very impressionable and they don't really have their own thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really critical thinkers.
Mm-hmm.
They're sort of being described as this sort of NPC. So all of those terms would kind of be interchangeable for what we're describing here.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a lot of TikToks describing NPCs to really get a feel for what people meant.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote the note, yikes, under this.
Perfect.
Listen, no, there is not a one definable description of what people are saying, and there is not a like here's the 10 things or the 3 things that you should look for, and this is what people are calling NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't real and doesn't exist. What's happening in these TikToks are really long explanations that make no sense. And it's that thing that we see in the intuitive world a lot where people talk around something so it seems like I just can't figure this out. I'm not smart enough or mindful enough or I don't know, intuitive enough to know what they're talking about. And then so they talk over you, but it's really just a bunch of nonsense. And this is what it is. This happens a lot. Not every single one. There are plenty of people talking about NPCs where it was innocent or they were chatting about it or they were questioning something. Those were fine. But the ones that really stood out to me were the ones when I was looking to like, I want TikTok to tell me what an NPC is because I'm trying to imagine I'm new to figuring this term out and I'm also impressionable and what information is being given to me. And it's really just a loop of garbage.
Right. And therein lies the issue with people not being taught media literacy.
Yes.
You know?
The media literacy and also the idea that just because this is a part of media literacy, but just because someone says they know a lot about something and they use like a lot of big words does not mean they do. In fact, in my experience, people who use really big words and language that's unattainable to describe something know a lot less about it than people who use plain terminology to make it easy for you to understand. Listen, you and I both love words. We like big words. We like funny words. We like to use
like swear words.
Yeah, swear words, right. But if I was trying to explain a concept to somebody, I'm not going to show off my vocabulary skills.
Absolutely not.
That's actually not a place where my brain's looking for those fun, strange words.
No, that's not how you teach someone something, is by talking over them.
I'm more likely to drop it into a place in a conversation where you might not expect it or use use a word to describe something that I think people know but probably don't use.
Mhm.
That's a different thing.
Right.
So like it's just like a real red flag to me, and I want it to be for you listeners, that
Mhm.
whether it's on the internet or at a workshop or in person or at a dinner party, it doesn't matter. If someone is talking to you about their job and using terms that you don't know,
Right.
if someone is trying to explain a concept to you and using really big words, this is a red flag that they don't know enough about it, or they don't have the ability to explain it to you. Because you
There's
could know
bluffing.
a lot about stuff
Right.
and not be good at explaining it or teaching it.
Mhm.
I could imagine that that's a real thing.
Mhm.
But more likely than not, what you just said, it's a bluff.
Right.
Or they don't want you to understand it. They're trying to manipulate you to not feel as smart as them.
Right.
If you're at a party, which doesn't happen, but if you were, the rare times you go to a party,
Mhm.
and someone asked you a question about something intuitive, like Reiki or something, and they were like, can you explain it? How many unattainable words are you going to use?
None. None. I would
not
break
gonna
it down
try
to
to
be
make it
incredibly basic.
Yes,
Right.
you're going to give the most basic version, and then you're going to judge their understanding of the basic thing you said, and read their questions, and then
Right.
sort of tailor your response
Right.
to what that is, because you actually want them to know about those things.
Right.
And you actually want them to know the real version, non-problematic version of those things.
Right. Right. And to your point right before that about like someone might not just be bluffing.
Yeah.
But they might also just be a snob or think they're better than I am. I mean, I've been in a lot of conversations socially where someone will talk about their job in finance or law or something.
Finance too, yeah.
Where like they talk over me, and it's not because they're bluffing. I know their credentials, but they don't care to actually have me in the conversation. They're just talking to feel better about themselves.
Yes, they're talking to manipulate you in a way that makes them feel better about themselves. Like
Correct.
makes me
It's
feel
for
smart.
themselves. Right. Exactly. It's not about me.
Yes.
Right.
Because I have talked to a bunch of people in finance.
Mm-hmm.
And I have talked to people who purposely talk over my head and use terms I don't know. And they very well know I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what that is.
Correct.
Okay. And I've talked to people who didn't use any of those terms and simplified it in a way almost like to humble it.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? And then I understood, and I was like, oh, this person actually wants to talk to me, and they actually care about what they do in the way that they want me to learn something. That's who I want to talk to.
Having a genuine interaction with someone.
Yeah.
Right.
So I just think we're sort of programmed in this like insecure way to think that because I don't understand what they're talking about, I'm at a deficit. But like, I'm not in finance, or I'm not an NPC expert, or I'm not whatever. You know, I don't walk around talking about intuition in a way that other people aren't going to understand. I don't talk to other people about it the way I talk to you about it. That doesn't make any sense.
Right. And I think when you're talking about the internet and people making videos about things, it's also, I would venture to guess that a lot of our listeners who are listening or watching now, they're decent people. And I've had to teach myself or remind myself that not everyone goes onto the internet with the same motivations. Like if I'm on the internet talking about something, it's because I want to share it with someone, or I want to
connect.
Yeah, like connection, something like that. It would never dawn on me to lie.
No.
Right? Like and so then, but then I assume that of other people. So then I'm thinking like, this person's here talking about this, and they say that they know what they're saying, and they're an expert in this, then they must be.
Because you're honest.
Because I would be honest about it. I would never say that I'm an expert in something I'm not an expert in.
Correct.
And so you have to oftentimes remind yourself that not everyone has the same morals as you and the same motivations as you. And that someone could very well just be saying they're an expert in something because they want to monetize their content and they want to make money, or they want to feel better than you and smarter than you, and they want to take advantage of people.
Can I run something by you that has to do with the internet?
Sure.
That's like a slight side note.
Sure.
That bothers me, that is something that, like, in a conversation with my husband, he likes when people do, and it's something that I consider almost like red flaggy, like I don't want to listen to you.
Oh.
And it's not because I think the person's bad. It's because it makes me think that their intention is not what I'm looking to consume.
What?
When at the start of a video, somebody says, "Hi, I'm so and so, and I do so and so at so and so and so and so and so and so and so," and then they start talking about the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to tell me the thing and then tell me that stuff.
Oh, okay. I think it's like a bid for validation. Like it's like a bid for credentials.
So, like, I'm going to make up an example. This isn't real, just off the top of my head. So someone says, like, "Hi," they're standing in a room. "Hi, I'm John Smith, and I run interior designs for dummies. And you can find me by going to interiordesignsfordummies.com. Here's my tip." Like, I know that's an exaggeration.
But it's branding. It's just a branding
Yes,
move.
but I know that what you're doing has probably been taught to you in a class.
Yes.
And it's probably fiscally smart.
Mm-hmm.
But first of all, I don't have the attention span for all of this talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that your intention of making this video is for me to buy something from you. Mm-hmm. Immediately, I know that. And if you say real quick, like, "Hi, I'm Heather, and I have a podcast called The Intuitive Girls Guide," and then you start talking, fine.
Right.
But, like, I can see that in your profile. Your name is right there. I can click it. Tell me something so that I want more from you and I go seek it.
And don't make me sit through it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, like, my husband actually likes when people do that because for him, it sort of sets up.
It's like a resume.
What am I going to know? And should I listen to you? But, like, I automatically feel like I'm going to have to be on guard with the rest of what you say because it's a sales pitch.
Agreed.
But, like, I don't
think it always is.
Not be a jerk. Yeah, I know. I don't think so. But I think you're taught to do that.
Yes.
But the thing is, if what you're saying is interesting enough, I'm going to look for it anyway.
Agreed. Yep.
I don't know.
I'm with you on that.
It's an intention thing. Like you're saying, like, yes. Is there anything wrong with like making a TikTok to sell something? Absolutely not. Do your thing.
No, that's how people make money now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, if your thing that you're selling is good, I'm going to want it without your spiel.
Right.
I don't know.
I agree.
I don't know.
I agree, but I think sometimes it's yucky, and I think sometimes it's just someone trying to keep up with the Joneses of
or they've been
internet.
told it in a class
exactly.
or by some white guy. Like I understand that that's not your purpose, but like I've scrolled away. I was
going to say with my attention span, if it's got to be short or I can't hang.
Yeah. I don't care if you strung together the best marketing sentence to all time in the middle. I mean, or at the beginning, I don't want to hear it. If you put it at the end and you've interested me, I probably want to hear it. If it's like thrown in, if you say like, "Oh, check out the link in my bio," and then you move on. All fine. Good. All fine. Yep. You're informing me of how to get more information should I want it.
Yep.
Not forcing me to know.
Exactly.
But it's that same thing. I know that's a side tangent, but like when you're watching a video, like you've got to think of that. You've got to go like, what's the intention? And it doesn't mean it's bad if it's to sell you something. But you need to know that going in.
Exactly.
I would like to ask you a question that I know the answer to, but for the purposes of the podcast.
What's that?
See, this is the honesty thing, right? Like, I'm so honest that I can't just ask you a question on the podcast that as I already know the answer. But like, I have to
tell everybody,
but like for the purpose of conversation.
Yes.
Okay. I know.
This is also why I say and like sometimes because I don't know what you're going to ask me.
I don't pre-tell her. I pre-tell her what we're going to talk about. I give her a heads up if I'm going to ask her a question that she'll need like a list.
Right. Or something potentially private.
Can I ask you about this?
Right.
Yeah, all that.
Right.
But can you imagine how boring it would be if we had like pre-talked everything out?
No, thank you. No.
But also for the
I don't have the attention for that either.
No. God, no one would want to listen.
Talk to me.
Okay,
Jesus.
So here's the question I know the answer to for the podcast. Do you think there are other quote unquote non-humans living among us?
I do.
I do too. And that question, Jamie, has been asked since the beginning of time. Your pagan ancestors were asking that question and answering it with different theories and ideas. And there's no culture that you can go into where you don't find that.
And yes. And I think we've said this before, not this particular thing, but I think it's interesting where we allow certain yeses to these types of questions, right? I can't remember why we spoke about it before, but like, I feel like it's acceptable when you talk about like Appalachia.
Yeah.
And like people that live in the mountains and like that culture, that's a culture. The people accept that. I forget the the name of
Yeah.
the creature, but like skinwalkers and
Yes.
things like that, right?
Banshees and different things.
Right,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's like I'll see like regular like muggles talk about that,
Yeah.
and they'll take it and they'll accept it, and I'm not
Yeah.
complaining about that.
No.
I'm just observing that, like, oh, okay, it's okay to talk about
Or like a Sasquatch.
right.
Yeah.
It's okay to talk about that here
Mm-hmm.
in this society.
Yep.
But like not over here in this topic when we were actually talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like branding. It's like what branding are you willing to accept?
Yes.
Right?
Where you're like, there's something mysterious about Appalachia.
Right.
So I'm going to, because there's a mystery around
I can buy into that.
and there's something that I don't understand that way of life.
Right.
It doesn't matter how much I read about it. I didn't grow up there.
Mhm.
So I could never understand it. So
Right.
I will buy your mysticism on it.
Mm.
But if you're telling me that like my neighbor down the street
Correct.
is saying there's an NPC
Mhm.
at their workplace, I'm going to be like, okay,
Yeah, probably not.
okay, Donna. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right. Exactly.
why is the question there?
Well, right. And if you want to delve into the answer, it's probably because Donna
uh-huh.
doesn't believe in any other thing like that. It's
Yeah.
just the excuse she's made to other someone.
Yeah.
But in Appalachia,
Yeah.
it's a part of your culture. It's a part
Yes.
of this like general
Yes.
belief system that you
Correct.
have. So I'm more likely to believe you about that
Yes.
than I am for Donna,
Yes.
who I know she's just sort of a hateful bitch.
I did change. This is a real person, and I did change their name at the last second. It also starts with a D
Oh,
that I was thinking of.
okay. I was like, shit, I just outed Donna. No,
No, it's
okay,
not
good.
Donna, but it also starts with a D that you're describing, and you don't know who I'm talking about. So it's
I
perfect.
don't. Okay,
No.
great.
Um,
But like in real life, you and I have been places
yes.
where, so in the difference is, you might be getting into this at some other point, but
It's okay.
like we went to Salem one time years ago.
A long time ago.
I have my own issues with Salem. We've
Same.
discussed them before,
Many
right?
times. Yeah.
But we walked by someone
Uh-huh.
and we had very different reactions,
Uh-huh.
but the same reaction. It was like this, we had the same reaction to the person,
Right.
but it was like, it processed differently in our systems. Like we looked at each other like, shit. And my thought was, whoa, something's off. Like something's,
you read like danger.
I was like, danger, something's off with that person.
you went into
like,
protect
I
mode.
instantly like
Yeah.
walked around Heather. I
Yeah.
like got like on this, like in between them. And
Just to be clear, the person was coming to me.
yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, nope. Like that might
And there's no words being spoken,
No.
just to clarify.
and
this
that might be like the
experience.
city person in me where I'm like, no, we're
You're
like
just also super
scuttling.
protective person. Like you're like the bodyguard of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, something's off.
Yes.
I have like little shivers on my
I know.
things from it.
Ooh,
'Cause that's
yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
But you were like, that person wasn't human.
Yeah. And
I
I
was
was
like-
fascinated, which is also why you
Exactly.
get very protective of me, because you know that instead of
Being-
instinctually protecting myself, I'm going
You're
to be
curious.
like, can I talk to you and figure
Yeah,
out
exactly.
what's happening?
And I'm like, no.
This person was walking towards me. They
Yes.
were looking at me and walking towards
Yes. They
kind
were
of
very
us.
interested in you.
But they locked onto me, and probably because I clocked them. And I think that they knew that. And
Mhm.
you immediately, it's not like that's something that's never happened before.
Mhm.
Normally you would just be like, whatever.
Mhm.
It was a male.
Mhm.
You immediately thought I was in trouble
Yeah.
and immediately started to take steps to get me away from this area. And as
Right.
soon as we were out of earshot, I was like, that's not a human.
And I was like,
You're like, no, it's
Oh.
not. Yeah.
I just thought they were a threat. I hadn't
Yes.
even gotten to
And
like,
there was
what they
nothing
were.
threatening about what they were doing. They
No.
literally were just, they might have been looking
Just
at
walk-
me
yeah, he was
weird,
just
but, like,
walking.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was like complete intuition is
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Right.
And we both, your main thing was, we're in danger, let's get out of here.
Right.
And mine was like,
Tell me
whoa.
more.
Which is why we both work well together, right? But that person, as soon as I said that to you, you were like, that's correct.
Yes.
That's what I was
Yeah, I
pursuing.
wasn't like, that's crazy, Heather.
No, but you hadn't got
No.
claircognizant wise, you knew that something was wrong.
Yeah.
Something was off.
Yeah, off is what I would have said.
Yeah, and you just got us out of there. That's
Yeah.
a claircognizance response.
Mhm.
A crazy person is like, I should probably stay and talk to this person.
Yes.
You know, it's really a wonder I've made it this
That's
far in
fine.
my life. Yeah.
Yes.
But But that was an experience where we both knew that was not a human being fully. I don't know, and I don't mean it in a way to insult the person. I never spoke to that. Like,
no.
It was just like the energy was very, very weird. And the fact that I happened to like spot them from afar and they noticed created something between us where it didn't feel like they wanted to talk to me, the person. It felt like there was something like weird pulling them towards me.
It was like the awareness created like a magnetization between the two of you where he wasn't expecting you to be aware of him. And just your awareness he was like, oh,
it like caused some sort of strange connection. Yeah. And the only thing that's ever come close to sort of explaining what it feels like is like, you remember like the original Men in Black movies?
Yes. Where
they would have an alien and it would just like not quite fit right in the skin.
Correct. Exactly. The face isn't moving right. Right.
And it just energetically you look at them and you're like, I can't explain why something's wrong, but it is.
And that, if you want to go on a little side tangent, is a perfect example of the thing I've been talking about since like the 4th episode of this podcast. Is why I've had such a hard time labeling myself as intuitive, and why claircognizant people have such a hard time doing that is because I'm not seeing any of that.
Right.
You're seeing that.
You need to find that out after it's done.
Yeah, like I'm feeling it. I'm aware of it. I know it.
Yeah.
I know that something is off.
Yes.
But it's not like in Men in Black. Where Tommy Lee Jones looks at the person and the face is like not moving right. Like that's why I thought I wasn't intuitive, because I wasn't seeing the face being off. I just knew that something was off, but I'm not visually seeing it. I'm not getting visual confirmation of it. I'm not hearing your weird alien voice auditorily. Like I just know that something is wrong.
Yes.
And so there's no proof.
Correct. And same with someone who you fully know is a human. You have that experience.
Correct.
You will be like, we need to be away from this person, or I don't like this person. And you can't tell me why. I don't need you to tell me why. I trust you. But like, you can't say why yet, and you'll figure it out.
But usually I need to talk to you about it.
You need to process it because you've got to go like, this just loaded in my system.
Right.
And so I need to now like figure out what it is.
Right.
And then we do. And it's like, oh, that's really interesting.
Right.
So it isn't just like a skill for someone who's an NPC or whatever. It's a skill of
intuition,
of claircognizance,
right? Of
like, this isn't correct,
right? But if you're listening and you're someone who's like, I'm not intuitive, I don't see the weird things, I don't see these crazy things,
right?
I don't either.
Yeah, right.
And that's why for so long,
yes,
I denied that I was intuitive.
Yes, because it didn't look like clairvoyance. Right. I just happened to be clairvoyant. So all the descriptions of things, for the most part, made sense. It gave me something. I mean, then I tried to hide it because I was petrified of it. I mean, honestly, like, if I've had situations like that happen to me when I was a kid, and the thing that was scary for me was not that there was something else there. I had always felt that, but that someone was going to realize that person could tell that I
knew. Right, exactly.
So it's like, you're also like very informed by your own experience with intuition. If you grow up thinking like, I have this draw to all things intuitive, but I don't feel like I'm intuitive enough to do it.
Right.
That's going to inform how you deal with everything. Like, your claircognizance is going to come tell you something's off, and you're not going to start to figure out why.
Right.
Because you haven't developed all of that. Right. That's not how you operate. Right. So like, understanding that is so crucial.
Yes.
Right. Like, I'm going to try to hide it, and you're going to think you're not intuitive because of it. And then we're both going to talk to each other about it and realize that we had the same experience.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
So it's so important to understand.
Yeah.
So yes, we are believers in that.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that there are other things out there. Mm-hmm. And I want to talk a lot more about that. And I also want to talk about why it's problematic and what I think you need to consider socially and generationally and all of that. But first, I want to give the people a break. I want them to think about Men in Black for a whole week.
Okay.
And how I think the person who created Men in Black, I don't know who it is. Sorry, I didn't look it up ahead of time because I didn't pre-think this part out.
Yep.
Must be someone who noticed this. Mm-hmm. Because the way that they visually, they're also clairvoyant, I think, show how people don't seem exactly right.
Mm-hmm. On the money.
Wow.
Right.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I don't think of it as alien, but you could.
Right.
Right. Like, so I want you to think about that. I want you to think about your own experiences with that. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk more about all of these things. We're going to talk about these other
life.
beings. Yeah. But
Look
we're
at
also
your
going to
neighbors.
talk about, do you have any NPCs in your life? Ooh, that's not how we're going to talk about
No.
it. But, and then we're going to talk about a couple other things you should consider and, the real problematicness of this whole thing.
Yes, we will.
Okay. We'll be back.
Join us next week when we continue chatting about this topic.
Hey everyone, Heather and I have an ask for you. If you love this episode or if you love the IGG, can you do us a favor? We need you to go onto whatever platform you listen on and download, subscribe, like, love, whatever it's asking you to do. Can you go do those things for us on the platforms that you listen on? It would mean so much to us.
Thanks for listening to our episode. For a way to get in touch with us, please visit our website, intuitivegirlsguide.com. We love hearing your feedback on our episodes.